Things your emotionally immature parent might do, and how to cope. Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. Growing up with an emotionally immature parent can be confusing and deeply challenging. It often leaves you feeling unheard, invalidated, or even guilty for emotions you didn't cause. Many of us who've walked this path carry a quiet ache in our hearts, wondering why our parents couldn't provide the emotional support we craved. But here's the powerful truth. Understanding their behaviors and how they impact you is the first step toward healing and setting boundaries. It's about recognizing that their emotional immaturity is not your fault, and it doesn't define your worth. In this video, we'll explore the behaviors of emotionally immature parents, delve into why they act the way they do, and most importantly, discover how you can protect your peace while navigating these complex relationships. This isn't about excusing their behavior, but about understanding the roots of their struggles so you can begin to heal your own. What is emotional immaturity? We hear the term emotional immaturity thrown around a lot, but what does it actually look like, especially in the context of a parent? In its essence, emotional immaturity refers to an inability to regulate one's emotions, show empathy, or take responsibility for one's actions. It's like a disconnect between their inner emotional world and their outward behavior. Now imagine this playing out in a parental role. An emotionally immature parent might struggle with self-reflection, often failing to see how their actions impact those around them, especially their children. They might react defensively or emotionally to even minor situations, making mountains out of molehills and leaving you feeling like you have to walk on eggshells. And perhaps most importantly, they might place their emotional needs above those of their children, leaving you feeling unseen, unheard, and emotionally neglected. But here's the thing about emotional immaturity. It's often a symptom of deeper unresolved issues. It's not about pointing fingers or labeling, it's about understanding. These behaviors usually stem from unresolved personal trauma or unmet emotional needs during the parent's own upbringing. They may have never learned how to process emotions in a healthy way, leaving them stuck in patterns of reactivity and emotional dysregulation. Remember, recognizing emotional immaturity isn't about placing blame, it's about shedding light on the dynamics at play so you can begin to understand your own experiences and reactions. Signs of an emotionally immature parent. So, how do you know if you're dealing with an emotionally immature parent? It's not always easy to spot, especially if you've grown up with these patterns, but there are some common signs that can point towards emotional immaturity. One of the most telling signs is their tendency to dismiss your emotions. If you've ever been told you're overreacting, or you shouldn't feel that way, it's a classic sign of emotional immaturity. Another sign is their tendency to make everything about themselves. Conversations often shift back to them, their experiences, their struggles. Even your struggles may become an opportunity for them to talk about their hardships, leaving you feeling emotionally drained and unseen. Emotionally immature parents can also be overly reactive or dramatic. Small disagreements can escalate into major conflicts because they lack the emotional regulation to respond calmly and rationally. Another common tactic is the use of guilt as a tool. Phrases like, "After all I've done for you," or "You're so ungrateful," are often used to manipulate your emotions and make you feel obligated to meet their needs, even at the expense of your own. And finally, they might struggle with boundaries. They might overstep personal boundaries, expecting constant attention or involvement in your life, even when it's not healthy or welcome. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards understanding and navigating these complex relationships. Chapter 3. Why they behave this way. It's tempting to get stuck in the hurt and frustration of our emotionally immature parents' behavior. But to truly heal and move forward, we need to dig a little deeper and ask ourselves, why? Why are they like this? What's going on beneath the surface? It's crucial to remember that emotionally immature parents often aren't acting out of malice. Their behavior, as hurtful as it can be, often stems from deep-rooted issues, often wounds they've carried since their own childhoods. One of the most common underlying causes is unresolved trauma. They may have faced neglect, abuse, or emotional abandonment in their own childhood, leaving them emotionally scarred and ill-equipped to provide the emotional support their children need. These unhealed wounds can manifest in their parenting, creating a cycle of emotional dysregulation. Another factor is a simple lack of emotional development. If they weren't taught how to process emotions healthily, If they grew up in an environment where vulnerability was seen as weakness, they simply might not have the tools to navigate their own emotions, let alone those of their children. Cultural or generational norms can also play a role. Certain generations or cultures may prioritize stoicism or emotional repression over emotional awareness and expression. This can lead to generations of individuals who struggle to connect with and express their emotions in a healthy way. Understanding these underlying causes doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help you approach the situation with a bit more compassion, a little less resentment. It allows you to see them not just as your parents, but as flawed individuals shaped by their own experiences. Remember, empathy doesn't equal acceptance. You can have compassion for their struggles while still setting firm boundaries to protect your own well-being. Chapter 4. Coping with an emotionally immature parent is a journey, not a destination. It's about learning to navigate the emotional landmines, set healthy boundaries, and protect your own peace, even amidst the chaos. It's about recognizing that you can't change them, but you can change how you respond and engage. One of the most important steps is to set clear boundaries. This means identifying the behaviors you will no longer tolerate and communicating those boundaries clearly and calmly. For example, you might say, "I'm happy to talk, but I won't engage in yelling or guilt-tripping." Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish, it's about protecting your emotional well-being. Practice emotional detachment. This doesn't mean you become cold or distant, but rather you learn to detach from their emotional outbursts. Recognize that their reactions are about them, not you. Don't take their words or actions personally, as difficult as that may be. Their emotional immaturity is their burden to bear, not yours. It's also important to limit your expectations. This doesn't mean giving up on them entirely, but rather, accepting their limitations so you're not constantly disappointed. Hoping they'll magically transform into the emotionally supportive parent you've always craved will only lead to more hurt and frustration. Seek validation and support elsewhere. Find a therapist, a support group, or trusted friends who can provide the emotional understanding and validation your parent might lack. Surrounding yourself with a supportive network can make all the difference in your healing journey. Engage in self-reflection. Understand how their behavior has shaped you. Are you overly critical of yourself? Do you struggle with boundaries in other relationships? Awareness is the first step to change. By understanding the impact their behavior has had on you, you can begin to break free from those patterns and build healthier relationships. Focus on what you can control. While you can't change them, you can control your responses. Journaling, mindfulness, or therapy can help you process your feelings and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Remember, you are not powerless in this situation. You have the power to choose how you respond, how you protect yourself, and how you define your own emotional well-being. Chapter 5. Moving forward with healing. Dealing with an emotionally immature parent isn't easy, but it's not impossible. Healing starts when you focus on yourself, your needs, your growth, and your peace. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be surrounded by people who love you, support you, and see you for who you truly are. Remember, healing is not a linear process. There will be good days and bad days, moments of progress and setbacks. Be kind to yourself throughout the journey. Allow yourself to feel the full spectrum of emotions without judgment. Embrace the power of forgiveness, not for them, but for you. Holding on to anger and resentment will only keep you tethered to the past. Forgiveness is about releasing those negative emotions and freeing yourself from their grip. As you begin to heal, you'll start to notice shifts in your other relationships as well. You'll find yourself setting healthier boundaries, communicating your needs more effectively, and attracting people who respect and value you for who you are. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. There are countless others who have walked this path and emerged stronger, more resilient, and more emotionally whole. Reach out, connect, and share your story. Your vulnerability might just be the light someone else needs to find their own way through. And above all, never stop believing in your own worthiness. You are worthy of love, you are worthy of respect, and you are worthy of healthy, fulfilling relationships. Don't let anyone, not even your parents, tell you otherwise. You are worthy, outro. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Understanding your emotionally immature parent and learning how to cope can set you free from the emotional burdens of the past. It's about stepping into your own power, embracing your worthiness, and creating a life filled with love, authenticity, and meaningful connections. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like and share it with someone who might need it. Let's create a community of support and understanding for those who have been touched by emotional immaturity. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on emotional growth and relationships. And always remember, you are worthy of love, peace, and emotional freedom. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thanks for joining me today on this journey.